Free Talk Live.
It's Free Talk Live, and of course you can join us right here, and as always, take control of the airwaves, bring up whatever is on your mind. Our number here is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We've got Skype as well, where you can Skype in and join the show. That's Skype username LRN.FM. A disturbing story coming out of Gizmodo about the Google Home device that may be turning you into the police. But first...
Boom! You're the police.
Nicely done.
Thank you so much.
And longtime listeners may recognize...
I'm glad I have somebody here that can get a joke. He will be like, what is that supposed to
I
mean?
got that joke. Thanks very much.
I'm so glad. Believe me, I really am so glad.
So, longtime listeners may recognize the third voice on the show. It's Ian and Mark as normal here on a Wednesday night, but Brett Venot is back on the air with us. Hey, Brett.
Hey, thanks for having me. It's great to be back here.
For listeners who are new to the show, they may not know you as the host of the School Sucks Project, School Sucks Podcast.
And one of my favorite co-hosts here on Free Talk Live.
Oh, thank you. You're one of mine.
Well, the listeners really enjoyed it when you were regular on Wednesday nights for
I think
like
it was probably him that caused me to call you a BAMF. And,
that happened while he was in here. That's right.
It did, but I quickly disappeared. I sunk down. I remember being under the table like an atomic bomb drill.
Is that the most viewed video on
No, the most viewed one is where I'm going through the checkpoint.
The checkpoint now. That has surpassed
it's number 2. It's long surpassed it.
It's more relevant, so I'm glad to hear that the checkpoint video is more popular. But you're up there doing your thing with the School Sucks Project, still weekly production of podcasts, pretty much?
Yeah, we shoot for usually about twice a week. Mm-hmm. Been hitting closer to once a week lately. We're actually now moving into doing events. We've got one coming up this summer I could tell you a little bit about.
Yeah, do tell me about that. You're hosting an event?
We are hosting an event in Salem, Massachusetts. I don't know if you guys...
The town of the witches?
Yes, it is a really fascinating town for many reasons. It was actually run by pirates throughout most of the 1800s.
Wow.
Pirates controlled the economy.
It's still true today. We're the government.
Yes, yeah. But we're bringing in a former college professor and historian and author named Thaddeus Russell, who I think I've talked about on this very show before.
I think
He's
we've had him
practically
on.
taken over your podcast, right?
What's that?
He's practically taken over your podcast, right?
He's probably been on about 20 episodes. My audience loves him because he pushes people so far, so quickly out of their intellectual
I'm so glad your
comfort
audience
zones.
is ready to think. You know, they take on the mental challenge and they're ready to look at it.
That's why
His
I
audience
think
is really thoughtful. It's like a really smart podcast.
Yeah.
Well, that's one of the reasons why I love him, because I felt like the show was in a real lull in 2013 or 14 when we first started working with him, and he really rejuvenated things. You guys might remember he came to New Hampshire to give a speech in an event, and he almost instantly became one of the most divisive figures in the liberty movement by saying that people smoking pot in the hotel where the event was being held were heroes for doing it, and this became like a real property rights kind of debate. But this only continued on my show for years, and he really rankled a lot of my audience members, but they love him. They're always excited when he's on. So we always thought it would be cool to do a face-to-face event like this where we get together and we let people actually debate with him on some of these topics. So we're going to be talking about things like the Trump presidency, the politics of race, the chaos in higher education currently, and it's a 2-day event in this beautiful, historic, quite tragicomic town, if you think about everything that happened there with the Puritans back in the 1600s.
Oh, Salem, right,
Salem,
in Massachusetts.
And
when?
What's that?
When is it?
It's August 5th and 6th.
Mm-hmm.
And if people...
Is it a weekend? What is that?
It is a weekend, yeah. And if people want to learn more, they can go to schoolsucksproject.com/FadFest.
THAD.
THADFEST. Or they can go to ThaddeusRussell.com/courses.
So is it going to be in a hotel, or what's the venue?
The beautiful Hawthorne Hotel one day, and then we're moving it to Endicott College in neighboring Beverly, Massachusetts, right on the ocean.
Why are you moving it? Were you not able to...
We wanted a bigger... No, we wanted to be in like a small, intimate space one day, and then we wanted to be able to welcome a larger audience for a talk that he's going to be giving about this upcoming book called Blood and Freedom, which is sort of about all of the bad things that we would talk about with American foreign policy, but also how foreign countries like the Soviet Union comes to mind embrace certain aspects of American culture and kind of get this idea of freedom, in them, alive in them, and then they want more of it. So it's kind of that those two sides playing against each other in this book.
So where's he from, Thaddeus Russell? Where's he?
He's from Berkeley, California.
So is that where he lives right now?
No, he lives up in Oregon. I actually just flew out there to do...
So he's coming all the way over to Salem to do this thing with you. That's pretty awesome.
Yep, absolutely. And I just flew out there. I just flew out to Portland. I was there leaving this time last week to be on his podcast, and we had a great conversation. So he's a very big part of the School Sucks experience for the last few years.
And how many years has it been now? What, 7, 8 years?
8 years.
8 years.
Yeah, we're celebrating
Congrats.
Our 8th anniversary, the first day of this event in August.
Perfect.
August 5th, yeah.
Wow, congratulations, dude.
Thank you so much.
Fantastic run.
I appreciate it.
Most podcasts
And that's
don't
pretty
make
much what you
it
do
past
for
8
a
months.
living, right? The School Sucks project?
It is what I do for a living, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it wasn't originally. It took.
It's just, I mean, it's not intended to be insulting. There's a lot of podcasters out there that don't do that for a living.
Yeah, it's a hobby for a lot of them.
The vast majority, I'd say.
I like to be a little more cautious than just saying, oh, yeah, one day I decided to start doing it for a living. I probably should have waited a little longer and planned a little more.
I have the same thing to say about coming to work for sales for Free Talk Live.
Right.
I'm like, we have 26 stations. I could make a living doing that. Thank God for Jason Osborne, who came in with a big old check to sponsor us.
Yeah,
I'd been sitting in the poorhouse.
Right.
So, welcome back to the show.
Thank you.
It's a limited engagement, but we'd love to have you back, at some point in the future. Obviously, you're an hour away now, so it's probably not as convenient.
Well,
to be
anytime
here,
I'm passing through town, I always think about it. So we talked a couple weeks ago, and I said, "Hey, I'm going through there, so let's see if we can make something happen." I'm glad we
made
did.
it happen. All right, let's go to your phone calls and thoughts here. Our toll-free number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom, 855-450-3733. And then I've actually got a story that's related to Salem, Massachusetts, because that is the new home of the Satanic Temple. They've opened up offices. Their head offices are located there now, and they're back in the news for another satanic monument somewhere in the United States. We'll tell you about that coming up here, but let's go to, I believe it's Hassan is with us on...